It is 1968. Amid the Cold War, the Soviet submarine K-129 quietly sails through the deep waters of the Pacific. Suddenly, around 1,500 miles northwest of Hawaii, it vanishes from radar. To this day, no one knows why it sank on board. The deep-sea vessels are weapons and technology of immense value, sparking one of the most spectacular salvage missions and diversion campaigns in the CIA has. This is the truly insane story of Project Azorian. On March 8, 1968, officers at a U.S. naval base recorded an unusual sighting. Sound Surveillance System (SOS). U.S. is a state-of-the-art technology to detect submarines. The signal, which presumably originates from an underwater implosion, can be traced to a specific location around 1,500 miles north of Los Angeles. It's an area known to be patrolled by the Soviet Navy. Meanwhile, in a Soviet control center, the Soviets make several radio checks on their ballistic missile submarine K-129. All without success. Something is wrong. They immediately initiate a massive search for the missing vessel. It will last a full 2 months with no success. As a result, K-129 is considered lost, along with its 83 crew members. The U.S. military closely monitors the activity of the Soviet Navy from a distance. Once the Soviets call off their rescue mission, the Americans decide to send the U.S. Halibut to investigate the anomalous signal. The Halibut, once a nuclear-powered missile submarine, is specifically repurposed for this mission. It now operates as a special ops spy ship. It features cutting-edge sonar and satellite technology, replacing its missile systems with specialized intelligence-gathering equipment. With the advantage of their advanced technology, the U.S. Navy can narrow down the search area. In July 1968, the USS Hollywood started its journey to the search area from Pearl Harbor. After 2 months of searching the ocean floor, the submarine finally locates something strange. They deploy a small cable-controlled device. This device can descend to depths inaccessible to the submarine and gather information on the terrain of the seabed. Like a little fish, the device dives down and takes photos of the strange object on the ocean floor. And there it is, the wreck of K-129, lying at an incredible depth of 5,000 meters. The U.S. is starting to understand why the Soviets undertook such a massive. The submarine likely carries highly valuable weapons and top-secret technology. Stuff the Soviets really wouldn't want the Americans to get their hands on. Back in Washington, D.C., curiosity is growing. The government is aware of the unique situation. As a result, President Richard Nixon approves a risky mission. If it fails, it could trigger a hot war between the USA and the Soviet Union. At that time, the Cold War had reached a détente, a temporary ease of the arms race. But the chance of retrieving an enemy vessel carrying invaluable military treasures is too significant to ignore. This marks the beginning of a truly unbelievable mission. The CIA is ordered to conduct a secret operation. In contrast to the military, the intelligence agency works more efficiently and is less regulated. At least that's what experts say. Recovering a submarine from a depth of 5,000 meters is a challenging and expensive task. The agency's solution, while seemingly bizarre, is very straightforward. They want to build a massive claw to lift the submarine from the ocean floor, similar to an 80s arcade game. But instead of stuffed animals, you get a Soviet war machine. The CIA comes up with a plan. A special ship is required. It needs to carry a giant claw capable of grabbing a colossal submarine. But it has to look like a civilian vessel from the outside. How do you build such a ship without arousing suspicion from the press or Soviet spies? It wouldn't be a CIA operation without a proper cover story. To help them out, the CIA selects none other than the billionaire and aerospace tycoon Howard Hughes. He shall play the leading role in a well-orchestrated diversion campaign. Howard Hughes lives secluded on the top floor of the Desert Inn Hotel in Las Vegas. He's eccentric, paranoid, and extremely rich. The way he does business is unconventional, and he's known for his many ventures. Some people refer to him as the Elon Musk of the 60s. As part of the diversion campaign, Hughes expands his business ventures into deep-sea mining. He created a company dedicated to mineral exploration and commissions the construction of a deep-sea mining vessel, the Hughes Glomar Explorer. The ship is constructed in plain sight. Officially, it's built for the exploration of manganese nodules, small mineral formations found on the ocean floor. To further the illusion, Hollywood actor Richard Anderson is hired to endorse Howard Hughes's new endeavors. In a dedicated commercial, they pretend to try to sell the project to the mining industry. I'm now aboard what is probably the most technologically advanced seagoing vessel in the world today, the Glomar Explorer. Meanwhile, the CIA commissions Lockheed, renowned for developing spy planes, to secretly construct a massive claw capable of grabbing an entire submarine. Nobody notices what's happening. The construction takes over 4 years and costs around $350 million. For the U.S. government, the ship is worth every penny. The stakes are high. The mission cannot fail under any circumstances. From a technical viewpoint, the Glomar Explorer is truly a fascinating ship. It weighs 50,000 tons and is 189 meters in length, equipped with a giant hoisting mechanism. A large internal hangar, the so-called moon pool, provides access to the ocean. The plan was to use the claw to lift the Soviet submarine into the moon pool, where it could be deposited and inspected. But how do you lower the claw 5,000 meters into the ocean? Aboard the ship are 600 giant steel pipes, each 9 meters in length. During the claw's descent, these steel pipes are connected by a mounting crane on deck, thus forming one single 5,000-meter-long pipe that can reach down into the abyss. Additionally, the ship and claw are equipped with advanced technology. It's the summer of 1974. 6 years of preparation have gone by. Meanwhile, K-129 is slowly decaying on the ocean floor. The recovery ship is on course to the wreck site. The preparations went according to plan and morale is high. One of the members documents their excitement in a diary. The sky was leaden, yet the crew had spirits that were as bright as polished silver. A few days into the journey, the Glomar Explorer receives critical intelligence. The Soviet trekking ship Chazma is patrolling these waters and is expected to cross the Glomar's path. When they arrive, the Soviets seem suspicious. To further investigate what's going on, they launch a helicopter. The crew of the Glomar is nervously watching as the Soviet helicopter makes several low passes near their ship. If the Soviets uncovered the true purpose of the Glomar's mission, it could escalate into a dangerous conflict. Eventually, the helicopter returns to its ship. The Glomar Explorer and Chazma open communication over the radio. The Americans are getting nervous now. The Chazma was not within hearing distance of the Glomar. This seems to be a lie, but the CIA agents stick to their cover story. We are conducting ocean mining tests. The Chazma signs off, turns around, and heads back to its home port, Petropavlovsk. Following this nerve-wracking encounter, the Glomar Explorer can finally proceed with its actual mission. Very slowly, the colossal claw begins its descent into the deep, dark ocean. Now and then, a Soviet ship curiously passes by. The crew is getting ever more tense. After about a week, the sonar system attached to the claw detects the seabed. Another week of prep and troubleshooting follows. Finally, the claw secures the wreck. The 2,700-ton submarine ascends from its watery grave. The claw is pulling it up, meter by meter. It seems to be going well. Then suddenly, the claw partly breaks and opens. In turn, over half of the submarine breaks off and sinks back into the depths. With most of K-129 tumbling down to the ocean floor, the mission failed, at least in parts. Years of hard work, tax money, meticulous planning, and secrecy, for what? Less than half a submarine. But that's not the end of the story. Immediately after the failed first attempt, the CIA plans a second mission to recover the remaining parts of K-129. But in February 1975, the Los Angeles Times exposed Project Azorian. In an article, they revealed the true mission of the Hughes Glomar Explorer. During the first mission, someone broke into Howard Hughes' L.A. offices and stole top-secret files. The files link him and his supposed mining ship to the CIA. The news spread rapidly, forcing the U.S. government to issue a public statement. To avoid embarrassing the Soviets and jeopardizing diplomatic progress, the government crafts a carefully ambiguous response. "We can neither confirm nor deny," a phrase that became known as the Glomar response. Today it's a popular way for government officials to reveal nothing while still saying something. Either way, the leak marked the end of Project Azorian. With the cover blown, a second attempt to retrieve the remains of K-129 was rendered impossible. To this day, the contents of the recovered section remain a mystery. Official CIA reports state that only some torpedoes were found, but no cryptographic codes, machines, or other significant technology. The veracity of that claim is, of course, debatable. The CIA did find 6 deceased Soviet crew members in the retrieved section of the submarine. These men were given a formal burial at sea, which was filmed by a CIA documentary crew. The footage was declassified and presented to Russian President Boris Yeltsin in 1992 as a gesture of goodwill. Most of K-129 remains 5,000 meters deep in the Pacific Ocean. The exact coordinates are still classified.